Morning, buddy. How you doing today? Hope y'all doing well. It's Monday morning, early, 4:30 in the morning. I appreciate y'all watching, and if you like the video, hit the like button, and if you want to subscribe, go ahead and click on subscribe. I appreciate y'all's support every day. Anyway, this is the infrared satellite loop. I'm going to highlight a few things here. You have your tropical potential tropical system that's now designated AL94. You have a large area convection moving off the African coast here in the next day or so, with a surface trough developing and a weak cold front, which is going to move south here. Cold front meaning it's not going to be any difference in temperature other than maybe a few degrees and more precip. And wherever this boundary sets up, there's going to be the possibility of flooding rains and severe weather. You can see there's ongoing really heavy rain right now in this area here. So what does that translate to the surface for us? Well, I'll show you. What we got here is a GFS model. It just depicts just surface precip and type, high pressure systems in different areas, low pressure systems, and gives a general idea where precip's going to be. Go through time here. There's that low pressure system maybe developing off the southeast coast, kind of meandering around. Unsettled weather along the southeast towards the Great Lakes, along the front range of the Rockies, all the way down into Texas, Mexico. You see that moisture just kind of lingers around. Then it ends up moving on to the Gulf Coast eventually. Really just kind of a nebulous pattern with concentrated areas in different parts of the northern tier of the states moving through in different times. And how we see that is the upper winds, like at the mid-levels, mid-level winds. Go back here, see a deep low pressure moving off the coast here. Pretty big upper level ridge over the south, the deep south, with maybe a little bit of a mid-level low off the Florida coast. See that high pressure really builds in over the east coast in the coming days. Well, the upper level flow way up there. And the only place that has a feature of low pressure, upper level, mid-level low off the coast of California may end up bringing a little bit cooler weather to that area. You can see where most of the flow is on northern tier states. With this upper level high pressure in place, you can see some enhanced, maybe some enhancement of the flow coming through here. The 25th, this is probably part of that low pressure that's kind of meandering around along the Gulf Coast during the period. Towards the end of the period, you got some still high pressure migrates back out to the west some, but it's dominating our pattern through the period, really. and this pattern really doesn't break down. In fact, it builds into the middle of the country towards the end of August. See it really amplified flow beginning to emerge. And if this plays out, this almost indicates maybe a mid-level low developing right over the southeast with a kind of a split flow pattern along the east coast, and then some really amplified flow along the northwest coast, and another short wave moving along the Great Lakes. This is pretty far out. This is the 3rd of August. That really won't go any further than that. You can see right down here, maybe there's a tropical system that maybe developed out down here. So that's it for that. Next, I'm going to go over today's weather forecast for the southeast and for the rest of the week. It's the official forecast from the National Weather Service, not one Tim Ealer is saying. And, this is by the experts. So I like to show this because that's the truth of it. So today, high 96, 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Go through time tonight, around 76, highs 97 tomorrow, with a 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Moving into the evening, of course, the thunderstorm chance decreases on Wednesday, high 91. 30 to 60% chance of shower and thunderstorms, and then Wednesday night, shower and thunderstorms likely, low 75. Chance shower and thunderstorms on Thursday, 70% chance, high 91. Friday, high 93, 50% chance of shower and thunderstorms going into Friday night. You can see the overall theme here. High in the 90s, shower and thunderstorm chances increase towards the middle of the week. But that doesn't mean it's going to rain all day. It's usually in the afternoon when the peak heating. But with a 50, 60, 70% chance of shower and thunderstorms for this area, you also have, pretty good chance of getting rained on at some point in the afternoon. First thing I'm going to go over today is the heat hazards and the other hazards that are currently in place for the nation. We have heat advisories for a good portion here. You can see it all around here, right? And then you have the extreme heat warning in the middle. The Mississippi Valley off to the west, and you have extreme heat watch, which is just incredible how much of the area has that the heat advisories or some kind of heat related statement today. You also got a flood watch just to the east there, and you have out west you have red flag warnings, which is just high winds and dry conditions can cause fires, things like that. That's some other flood watches up in these areas here, but in flash flood warning right on the border of Texas and Mexico. By far, the biggest impact today is going to be the heat, really. By far, the biggest, like I said, the biggest risk is today is, and for the week, is just overall heat risk. And I'm doing this a little bit different today. Not going to actually show the temperatures, but how risk of heat related impacts. Red is major, magenta is extreme, orange is moderate, yellow is minor, green is 0 to equals little or no risk. So today, you see the biggest risk is along the southeast in the mid Mississippi Valley, up in Iowa, Nebraska, along the Gulf Coast. It moves further up to the north into the high plains, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Tennessee, still here in the southeast along the Gulf Coast. Uh, move through to Wednesday. See down along the east coast, it's moderated some by probably cloud cover and precipitation, but the heat risk surges northward into Wisconsin, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee. Um, Places up north here aren't really prepared for this kind of heat, so they're the threshold for heat-related advisories and impacts is a lot less than down south. Just a little bit eastward, but a large area from Iowa all the way to western New York, down into Mississippi Valley, down into Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, um, parts of Texas, and along the mid-Atlantic. It starts building in again. It's just further eastward, but still stays in parts of Illinois, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri, Virginia, New York, all the way up in the southern Maine, the wide area of moderate risk. With we go into Saturday, all the way, so a little bit of risk up into North Dakota, wide area of orange, which is moderate risk, with a high risk dotted throughout the eastern half of the country, and along the mid Atlantic coast into Georgia, with a major heat risk. And Sunday, still a wide area of the U.S. Are seeing high impacts from the heat, especially in the deep south, southeast. And then down in the Gulf Coast is probably moderated by cloud cover and things like that. But overall, heat impacts are going to remain for this whole week. It's This pattern doesn't look to change anytime soon overall. So next, I'm going to talk about the future tropical development probabilities and chances. I know I've discussed possible development along the mid-Atlantic coast, southeast, and into the Gulf. But it looks like to me that that's not going to happen because the low pressure that's supposed to develop is going to be attached to a front the whole time. So if that's the case, it won't be tropical at all. So this is 94L. This is the tropical disturbance out in the Atlantic, Western Atlantic. It now has a 20% chance to develop in the next 48 hours. And but you can see by the middle of the week, environmental conditions are going to become a lot less favorable once it gets near the Lesser Antilles. Um, Chances of it developing are almost none, really. It's likely to lose whatever um, organization that it currently has, and that's not much anyway. So, what I wanted to show you real quickly was this is tropical cyclone formation probability guidance product issued, from the upper Office of Satellite and Product Operations. This is 24 to 48 hour daily probability, which shows. I know it. Let me go back. There's probably a better panel here. You can see there's along the East Coast. You got a really small 20%, maybe 20% probability of something developing. I don't think anything's developed, but that's what it says. And then you move the 24 to 48. Sorry. I'm not doing too good today. 24 to 48 hours. You can see it increases some, but I really don't think anything's going to happen. And I'll show you why. As far as tropical goes, there's going to be a low pressure system going to develop there. But first, we'll go over 94L real quick. Find it again. Tropical development along the southeast coast, at least in the short term. You can see we have frontal boundary here, which is forecast to sag southward into tomorrow. Cold front. It's taking a little bit to refresh here. You can see the boundary clearly defined there. We move to day 3, which is Wednesday. You can see the low pressure system along the southeast coast, which we see on the models, but it's attached to a front, and this means it's baroclinic, and by definition, tropical systems are barotropic. Baroclinic means there's a difference in temperature between the cold and warm air and surrounding the cyclone. So it, by definition, not a tropical system. And this is forecast to stay attached to a front as it moves southeast into the Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico, whatever you want to call it. It's really just an enhanced rainfall risk in the southeast, as far as I can tell right now. Anyway, appreciate y'all's support, and y'all have a good day.